And we're back in this episode here called Transgender Hate Mail, Homosexual Hate Mail, Atheist Hate Mail. Basically, me reacting to a bunch of screen caps on YouTube and DeviantArt. The response comments I made against these deviant lifestyles and a few other things. Trigger warning. If you don't like what I'm saying, go ahead and click off the video and go watch something else. Do not lie and say there's hate speech in my videos, because there is no hate speech in my videos. It's speech you hate. That's a different story. Let's continue on. People getting things wrong in these comment sections. Me trying to straighten them out with Bible verses and basic biology, and them getting ticked off about that. Let's, Also, there will be some overlap. But it's important to do that so that we can make sure to see everything. Also, I'm going to check on some non-safe-for-work fan art. Yeah, my cat on my lap there, so it's a little harder to lean around in there. Let's see here. Non-safe-for-work fan art with Candace. All right, Candace. All growing up, Candace Flynn and Stacy. Oh boy. Yeah. Especially like seeing them enjoying it. Black dudes. Oh yeah. Very cute as they enjoy giant black dudes. Look at emo Candace. Make it emo Candace. Very nice, very nice. Oh yeah. The one really made a man and put a Volvo on him and called him Candace. That's not right. Gee, sexy emo Candace. Oh, Candace. Sorry I don't meet your warped standards of beauty. Yeah, it works just fine. What you got going there works just fine, girl. Wow. Yes, it does. Better than masculine Candace. Giant masculine Candace. Lumberjack Candace. I don't like. He looks like a dude. She looks like a dude. It's not right. Yeah, well, that's what you get with art. So many different types of art. Some I like, some I don't like. You don't. You can say I don't like it, and avoid it. But you can't be like, I don't like it. How do I stop it from being created, or how do I stop it from being seen? Yeah, let me break the law. No, you don't do that stuff, because all that does is cause more problems for you. And then of course it extends to everything. Now collective shall be hating on Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg, calling him a pimp. I commented on the Smash JT video. I saw this, and I said, yeah, because you all said she's a pimp, but that's Snoop Dogg is pimping. That just means he looks cool. What the heck? And then I was like, oh no, they're gonna have to Luda next. Luda has that song about pimping all over the world. It was half joking. It could totally happen. Yeah, let's go. Reparations for trans people, fart noises. So I said, oh great rebuttal. I'm talking about not giving tax money, people who choose to mess their lives up. And you're making fart noises. And they had nothing to say because that was a stupid thing to do. Well, now we're on DeviantArt. Well, let's go here. Someone says, whatever makes you happy. I said, so you're a girl. So we got to the art post. Transgender WTF comments part 1. Someone says, whatever makes you happy, it's not good. Whatever makes you happy cannot be, sometimes that's not good. If it's a lie, that's not good. You want to be happy in truth, not lies. And I said, so you're a girl who likes to look like a man for the most part. That's fine with me. I said, this is early in my figuring out how the transgender lifestyle is. The way you look doesn't affect physical gender or sex. Yeah, I was having trouble figuring out what the difference between gender and sex was. Biological sex is physical. Gender is identity. I didn't realize that. I realized that. So yeah, it took a while for me to figure that out. But now I know, and that's how it goes. And but we have a problem. Other people are getting mixed up too. Watch this. Nope, her physical gender is male. Ignore her ovaries. Something like that, And I say, yeah, she looks like a man. That doesn't mean she is one. That's usually that. Back then I knew that. And someone says, they said in the art, even though they're transitioned, they are a real guy through lies. And they've always been that way through lies. So how does that still make them a female? Person says, because she is still physically female, and nothing she can do can change that. Person, you can get surgery to change that, which she has done. No, you can't. You can get your body mutilated to look different, but it's still female. Still will be the biological sex you were born. It's not going to work. So yeah, someone says, you can have surgery to change that look, which she has done. You're being stupid through lies. Come on. I think the fact that people have to get surgery to lie is very telling of your education on the topic. I'm correct, yes. So I edit my original comment to this girl's meme. I don't like her trying to look like a man. That's deceptive. That was later. Yeah. And so I said, that isn't a girl. I'm going to put off. Ignore the fact that she was born a girl. Ignore that. Just really controlling over other people's bodies through truth. There's no deception other than all the deception. You just don't like trans people, so you're again making up stuff to satisfy that by looking at real stuff that they're actually doing, making stuff up. I know because I read that word. So I'm right then. You ain't. You're ignorant AF. I continue to be ignorant of lies. You're ignorant, not just of lies. Says the person who says the lying is the best way to go through life. I'm like, pray tell when I said that. Oh wait, I didn't. Other than of course all that stuff I said about the trans lifestyle being perfect good for some people. That. Nope. Ironically enough, that means you're lying. Immediately they try to get me to say I'm lying. Heck, you've been lying this entire time. You're still ignorant. So truth is lies, lies is truth now. So like what the trans person would say to justify their lies. No, it's more simple than that. You're a liar. Because I've heard these pronouns that are different than the ones I got at birth. Oh wait, trans people do that. Gotcha. The man trying to get run around the fact that he's a liar through lies, and also apparently trans. Like you would know what that's like. I say. So I mean, yeah, you're right. You're lying to my face. Lies, right? Don't look at him. By telling you the truth. Someone's confused. Nah, you ain't. You're a lion with no evidence to back me up. With evidence to back me up. And you're telling the truth with stuff that is private or none of your business. That's not truth. Next. You're lying about things ain't evidence. Know what this is? Cleveland Clinic, article, male reproductive system. This is male. WebMD, guide to female reproductive system. This is female. People with male reproductive organs saying they're female are lying. With female reproductive organs saying they are male are lying. Here's the issue. Someone's confused about what is male or reproductive organs. What's female reproductive organs? And the verse says, yet you also go on to say men are with male systems and females with female organs ain't female. Huh? Because they're lying, which is going to be honest, still sounds like you're lying, projecting that onto those who have surgery after HRT. Okay, see, that's the issue too. She thinks that a reproductive system is male or female depending on what you want. But it's not. It's reproductive system is male or female because of what it is. So she's getting it wrong. Because she's saying, yeah, look, after all the work they've done to change that reproductive system to look more like a man's reproductive system, or change the reproductive system to look more like a female's reproductive system, you're saying that it's still a male reproductive system or a female reproductive system or the other system. All that work was for nothing. That's what you're saying. You must be lying. Like, nope. Continue on here. Doesn't help you say also men aren't men because they're born with ovaries, and women aren't women because they're born with testicles because they don't live up to your personal arbitrary standards. Gender is a social contract, but biological sex is not. They use them these weird standards weird by truth standards to try to for some reason dictate another person's autonomy without discriminating against them through lies. Link. What is gender identity? Link to Cleveland Clinic. What is gender identity? Like Zoink Scoob, there's also the exact same sites you cited. Almost like you don't have articles to support your claim, because I say you don't. You do, but I say you don't. It's so sad when they try to say, I could go to the same website and find out what transgender is. See, so that means you're wrong. Like no, that's not what that means. Continue. Yeah, I do. You're pulling up sources that don't back up your original point because I say you don't. Ignore the fact that you do. You were pulling up so the sources that do back up your original point. Ignore that because I can pull up sources from the same places that back up my point. Kind of. Go. So here. That is because transphobia isn't scientifically supported. What I call transphobia is people saying that males or people with testicles are male and people with ovaries are female, and people with testicles saying they're males is lying, and people with ovaries saying they're females is lying. That's transphobia, right? Like, no, no, that's truth. And then the person says, I like how your first line, there's a comment also knows you're lying through lies, since it's an agreement of my statement through lies. But yeah, overall trans people aren't lying, because I say they are. Ignore the fact that they are. When they say their gender is woman and their sex is something different, because basically you have someone born with a penis of testicles, hiding that. and using female hormones to try to look more feminine, wearing their hair long, wearing female outfits, getting padded bras so they can look more feminine. So then, and they're saying use she/her pronouns for me, so that makes them look more feminine. And they say I'm a woman, so that's lying. That person with ovaries, hug, hug, hug. Person with ovaries saying, cutting their hair short. That's right in my shoulder. There you go. Cutting their hair short, hiding that they have breast and other curves, pumping themselves full of male hormones so that they can look more masculine. And then say use he/him pronouns for me. That is all up in myself. There you go. I say down there. They're basically, and they get their genitals mutilated to look more like what they want. But that's lying. That's to make the lie more believable. But I say they're not lying. I have no evidence to support that, but I say they're not lying. That's what they say. That's what's going on here. They're lying. Let's say the gender is women and their sex is something different. They are. Gender and sex are directly correlated because, but they use the gender to hide their sex, so they are. It doesn't work. What is actually real? Yeah, gender. They're making gender real. Real. I mean, real like it exists in existence. So you mean physical? Does this person mean physical? Because if this person means physical, then that's true. Gender identity is not physical; it's mental. And if your gender identity does not match your biological sex, which is real, physical, then you have to adjust your gender identity to match your physical biological sex, because you can't force your body to become what's in your to change biological sex. It's impossible. But you can be like, okay, I want to dress different, cut my hair different, use different pronouns, or not, use different pronouns. You can do that. One time I have. That was time. See you guys next time. Check me out on YouTube and DeviantArt.